Just over 30 years ago, a terrible cyclone hit Darwin, Australia's most northern city. At the time, it was one of the worst natural disasters in Australia's history. 49 people died, 16 went missing at sea, and many of Darwin's 48,000 people were left homeless. Recently, the city commemorated the 30th anniversary of the cyclone.
Maury Maloney now lives in Queensland. He returned to Darwin this week to check out the city he was living in 30 years ago when Cyclone Tracy wrecked the place. His old neighbourhood of Alloa, 15 minutes from the central business district, is green and serene these days. On Christmas Day 1974, Alloa and most of the city was flattened.
You couldn't drive a car down the street, there was just rubble everywhere. Roofing iron, timber, bits of houses, fibro.
Maury Maloney's house was blown apart like the rest of his street. His tale of survival as his house collapsed is as prosaic as thousands of others.
We got the two children, then we put them in a cupboard. But then a bit later on it got worse, so we actually went up into the hallway, got a mattress out and put it on the floor. So we sat there.
Maury Maloney's family were among 25,000 residents who were flown out of Darwin in the week after the cyclone, the biggest airlift since World War II. Another 10,000 left by road. The evacuation was directed by Major General Alan Stretton, who had just been appointed to head the new Natural Disasters Organisation.
We had 45,000 people in the ruins of Darwin with no water, no reticulated water, no electricity, no sewerage, and a great danger of an outbreak of cholera and other diseases.
Qantas was at first reluctant to join the airlift out of Darwin.
Qantas sent a senior pilot up. He had a look at the airfield, which was still pretty ropey, and came to the conclusion that it wasn't on to fly a jumbo jet out. I then showed him some of the refugees, women and children still in a state of shock, and he then virtually changed his mind and decided it was worth the risk.
We just filled every possible nook and cranny that we could on the aircraft. The mothers, I just remember the mothers, you know, just who probably really understood what was happening. And you can just imagine, you know, am I going to have a home again? You know, am I going to have to start all over again?
Darwin's official wind recording instrument had been destroyed at 3 a.m. when there was a gust of 217 kilometres an hour. This new instrument should withstand wind speeds up to 370 kilometres an hour. And the Weather Office now has sophisticated computer modelling and receives better satellite and radar pictures.
All this enables us to more accurately pick the current position, pick the current movement, pick the future movement. Mind you, the performance that we provided 30 years ago for Tracy was very good at that time.
Maury Maloney will be joining other Cyclone Tracy survivors for a commemoration tomorrow night.
The time things before or after Tracy. So yeah, there's a bit of emotion tied up with it, that's for sure.
A cyclone is a violent tropical windstorm in which the air moves very fast in a circular direction. There are different types of tropical cyclones. A tropical cyclone can sometimes be classified as a typhoon or a hurricane, depending on where they occur. A similar word is tornado. A tornado is a strong, dangerous wind that forms itself into an upside-down spinning cone. Cyclone Tracy hit Darwin in 1974. Maury Maloney lived in a suburb called Alloa. Most of the houses in his suburb were flattened by the cyclone.
His old neighbourhood of Alloa, 15 minutes from the central business district, is green and serene these days.
His old neighbourhood, 15 minutes from the central business district, is green and serene these days. A neighbourhood is an area in a town and a group of people who live in that area. The central business district is the commercial area of a city. It's where most of the offices and other big buildings are. Central Business District is often abbreviated to the initials CBD. You could also call it the city centre, or if you were in North America, you'd hear this area referred to as downtown. Murray's neighbourhood is 15 minutes from the CBD. The neighbourhood is green and serene, or calm, these days. Let's hear more about Murray.
His tale of survival as his house collapsed is as prosaic as thousands of others.
His tale of survival as his house collapsed is as prosaic as thousands of others. A tale is a story, and survival refers to the act of staying alive. So he's talking about Murray's story of staying alive during the cyclone. His house collapsed or fell down. This story is as prosaic as thousands of others. Prosaic means ordinary or dull. We could also say straightforward or matter of fact. Murray doesn't tell his story about surviving as his house fell down in an exciting or extraordinary way. He tells it in an ordinary and straightforward way. Murray was evacuated with 25,000 other people. They were flown out of Darwin on some very crowded planes.
We just filled every possible nook and cranny that we could on the aircraft.
They filled every nook and cranny on the aircraft. The phrase every nook and cranny means every corner and small crack. You might hear people say that they searched every nook and cranny for something. They mean they searched everywhere. They filled every bit of the plane with as many people as they could. Even though it was a long time ago, it seems many people have strong memories of that terrible Christmas day. And that's all we have time for today. There's no need for you to search too far for more English practice. There's much more on the English Bites website. English Bites is brought to you by Australia Network. And there are many other English language learning resources available at our website.